Poor man pays twice. This is why you get a brand new genuine engine, not a rebuild. We're going to quickly run through what might have happened with this engine. So this engine, yes, it has been rebuilt not that long ago. Was it 20,000 Ks this engine's done? Man, could you imagine spending all the money and time waiting for that job and then 20,000 kilometers later you're back here again? Not good. So what do we got here? We got, this is number 1 piston here. What's that say there? STD. Stay away from the STDs. Not good, because it could end up like that, okay? Now these ones, have a look at them all. So this is number 4. This is number 3. Number 2. Oh, what's happened there? We think we know what's happened there. Pretty sure we're going to have a blocked oil pickup. There's all these bits. This is what the magnet picked up, okay? So I reckon that looks like it's rings, and it looks like the rings are missing. So you got to stay away from those STDs, or you could lose your rings. Who hasn't been checking their oil pickup? Yep, so we're just quickly having a really quick look in the bottom of the engine. Everybody knows what's going on here. And bada bing, you know, we've got some dodgy workmanship. We're going to have a look at some components. Need to get that light on. Let's just have a quick chat about these injectors. If anybody put these injectors in an engine 20,000 Ks ago, either they've got big problems, or they've used the wrong washers, or washers made of brass, not copper, or washers with completely the wrong torque specification on the injector. Have a look at that. We've got 1. This one's the only clean one. 2, 3. That's terrible. So what I want to do, I want to get this washer off here. See that? This is, was that on the return line? Okay, so aftermarket garbage. Whoever did this engine needs to provide a full refund to their client, because it's just a complete failure. So we're going to have to go fishing and find the washers off all these other injectors, but there's one washer there on it. Let's just pop that washer off with the file. I'm suspect that the wrong material's been used, these aftermarket washers, that they're brass. Because my experience, that's what I've got, hang on, look at the colour already, look at that. Everybody knows that's brass from the colour, right? Go on, do me a favour, grab a rag. Let's just keep it rolling, keep it here on the edge here, so there's no smoke and mirrors. It came off these injectors. These are the injectors. There's the serial number if anybody wants to, you know, argue the point, whatever. This is an evidence-based video, right? And there's going to be, and we've explained this. This is why subscribe, turn the bell on. This can all be avoided. Workshops, engine rebuilders, all over the joint, still don't get it, and they don't listen, right? So just in case there's a coating over there, that's right, let's rub it back. Give it a good long fold. Give it a good long full stroke, mate. Yeah, look at that. Look at that, right? Look at that. Now, can you do me a favour? Leave that there. Leave that there. Go and grab me one of your old washers, a genuine washer. Quickly, come on, quick. People are waiting. Come on. It's good to have assistance. Anyway, right? Everybody can see that's brass. Now, I'll explain the problem again in this video, and we'll tell you exactly what's happened with the engine, for step by step. So the first problem is the engine rebuilder has used, I'm going to go out on a limb here and go, these could be aftermarket rebuilt injectors, but we don't know. They could be new genuine. But why would you use new genuine injectors and not use the new genuine washers that came with them? Because these are aftermarket. Right, have you got an old one? Just off an old set of injectors. You've got an old injector somewhere. I don't want to wreck a new one. Sorry guys. So that they should have just used genuine parts, and that's what it looks like. It's not alloy. It's got a coating over it that looks like aluminium, but it's actually copper, and we're about to demonstrate that. Just pop that one off there. Here we go. I'll show you what's going on right here. Right, there it is. And there it is, right? Okay, bring him over. That's a genuine one. You can see how similar it looks to this one, and you can already see the orangey color, because copper, and forgive me when I get, because I always do this, I say copper, brass, mix myself up. This one is the brass one. Brass is intrinsically harder than copper. Copper is soft, it'll squash, it'll be a gasket, as this one has, I'm sure, for a long time. So what we need to do, please, my assistant, is get a rag, just give this one a clean, and same thing, then grab the file, because we don't want to get, it's pretty clean, but we just want to get crap in the file. And then just give this one a file, just like we did the first one, so we can have a look at the color of what copper looks like. And then we can do some further tests. We can put it in the vise. For all the people that weren't watching back in 2015, with those Bailey's injectors, that they were all supplied with brass washers, and everybody had these major problems. I've got photos, I've got evidence, I've got boxes of evidence. And that's why you subscribe and turn the bell on, because this is what we do. Give it a fair crack, because it's going to be hard to bring the colour through, because we've got the... aftermarket parts, just not worth it. All right, I reckon that'll do it. Everyone can see the orange filings. Let's bring it back over here and just put it next to the two and compare the pair, as they said, right? I mean, can anyone not see that? It is hard to see, I'll admit it. It's hard to see, right? I'll get back here a bit, right? Hold it still. You can see that. You can compare the pair. All right, now, most people don't know the difference. So copper's, it's quite soft. Brass is a combination of, what's brass? Brass is a combination of copper and aluminium. Is that right? Head metallurgist over there? It's a
yes.
Yeah, combination, and brass will be about similar. I'm the metallurgist, right? It's similar hardness to aluminium. It's really rock hard. So what we're going to do now is demonstrate. We're going to take this to a vise now. Can you grab both of these? Let's go to the vise. We're at the vise, and we're going to do the copper one first. All right, bring it up. Here we go. Copper. That's the copper one. So let's just get on the vise here, just gently. No need to go too hard because it's copper, right? That'll do. Now carefully grab that, open it up again, and let's have a look at the marks that it leaves on it, right? It's hard, this vise isn't as, it's going to be hard to get the focus, all right? You can see a few marks down the bottom here. Let's flip it over. I think I might need mine. Oh, that's what we wanted, right? Look at those marks. That's what I'm looking for. See that? All right, do me a favor, mate. Leave that right there and grab that other copper one, the other brass one. See, I told you I was going to do this. This one's copper, this one's copper, this one's soft. See how it squashes in the vise without even pressing hard? Now what we're gonna do, we've got the copper one, the brass one. So I told you I was gonna do this, right? And you're gonna crank it, all right? And this time I'm gonna say crank it a bit harder, but not much harder. That'll do, okay, that's a fair bit more than before. Now take it out, let's have a look and see what, oh, that one didn't really work out either, did it? Yeah, because I think we went a bit hard on it. So what we need to do, go again, do it again, but don't do it as hard. So when I've done this in the past, different vices and whatever, the brass, you could really crank it hard and it didn't even leave a mark, you know. But go hard like you want to make a mark in it. But maybe this vice is just that high quality. What do we got here? Irwin. So that time it didn't make a mark. A tiniest little mark in comparison. All right, let's do something else. Let's put it on the flat here. Let's smash it with a hammer and see if it puts a mark in it. I'm trying to demonstrate the difference between the copper and the brass washers, and it's not really working out too well, but the evidence is in the 20,000 kilometres that they've been in the engine and the blow-by on 3 injectors. And we've been here and done this before, so you would need officially to get a metallurgist to do all the testing and tell you what the difference is here. I don't know what the mix in these, it could be, you know, higher in copper than aluminium compared to others we've tested. So let's get the ball side of the hammer, right? And see if you can just give that one there, put your finger here, don't hit your finger, don't hit my finger. Just give it a tap and see if you can put a little dent in it. Hit it again. Hit it again. Hit it again. Keep hitting it. Try and hit it. Oh, stop now. Stop. I don't know if everyone can see that. That is just absolutely gone, right? Now let's try this. Let's get this one. Try and find a good spot over this side here, I reckon. And tap it the same as what you were tapping the other one. Yeah, good luck, mate. Keep hitting it. Keep hitting it. Hit it harder, mate. Hit it harder. Oh, you hit your finger there. Right now, have you done this before? Have you done? Now, from your own testing, your independent testing, would you say this is heaps harder than that, or it's about the same?
No, it's way harder.
It's way harder, exactly right. Now, do me a favour, really get into it. Give it a good smacking, right? And see if we can put a mark in it. I tell you what, get a screwdriver holder so you don't smash your finger. It's something to hold it, that's it, anything. All right, just make sure you hit the, I'm thinking a flat blade, because then you can get in there flatter. Grab a flat blade. There's got to be a flat blade in this workshop somewhere. Okay, yeah, put the flat blade there and try and hit the opposite side of the washer. Get the ball side, yeah. Give it a fair, you know, give it a fair few taps, you know. Well, it's starting to go, it was starting to flatten out. Bring it up. So you're really smacking it compared to the other one. Let's have a look at it. Yeah, it was starting to go, but see how much force it took. Now let's go back to this one again. Do to that one what you just did to this one. Oh, look at it, look at that. All right, stop. Now, so I don't know if we've given enough evidence here, but you know, you can go and get the experts onto the job. This is the mechanics way of testing. comparing brass to copper. Now, this is what the problem is. Let's go back to the engine and keep taking the sump off and explain what's happened with this engine. So this is the story, right? Don't use aftermarket parts. It's been going on for years. There is some aftermarket suppliers. Oh, they use plenty of that red stuff too. Yeah. That's looking a lot harder to get off than what they normally are with a normal grey RTV. It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's like super glue, this stuff. Anyway, so what's happened? Do you know what's happened? Can you put it all together, or so far, or? Okay, yeah. So let me run through it so you can, let's get everybody on board, right? Do you want to hurry up and stop making noise so we can talk to these people and explain what's happened? This oil pickup will be blocked. If this oil pickup's not fully blocked, one of the worst ones you've ever seen, everybody that presses like and subscribe, I'm going to give you $100, mate, right? Not everyone who has, everybody that does after I'm wrong in this video. But then I wouldn't be able to release the video, would I? So, you know, $100, mate. That's a lettuce leaf for everyone. There's a lot of lettuce leaves, mate. It's on the line now. Let's see, what do we got, mate? Let's see what happens. So we already know what's going to be in there because we've got the results. The engine's finished. So that's why, I mean, you know, I wouldn't recommend anyone makes bets like this because, you know, bada bing, bada boom, right? There's your money. None for you, all for me, right? A little bit of leftovers, don't worry about that. But we've got a fully blocked oil pickup. So this is probably one of the most important videos that you could watch and be patient watching. Maybe I'll call it that. Should I call it the most important video you should ever watch on Fourby4diesel if you own a diesel? Something like that, yeah? Yeah. Okay, so look, you know, we've explained this. It's in the injector information playlist over and over again. So it's not a lack of oil changes. So all these people that are going, oh, they've missed services. No. That's the V6. That's the petrol engines. That's your Nissan Pulsar. This can happen from that. With a diesel engine, this does not happen from missing oil changes. Even if you do the oil every 40,000 Ks, this doesn't happen on a diesel, like a 1KZ, a 1KD. Every 40,000 K oil changes, this doesn't happen. How do I know? Mate, I know people that don't service their cars well, and that's what they do, and this hasn't happened. Okay, this is how this happens, all right? I'm not going to go through the full detail, but it's all caused by the brass washers. They are not gaskets. The brass washers are washers. They're not gaskets. This is a gasket. This is copper. And what it does, it takes up the imperfection between the surface of the nozzle, the cap nut on the injector nozzle here, and in the head. Because things aren't perfect. Well, it's pretty close to perfect on this one because this one didn't leak, okay? If you've got a perfect to perfect surface, you don't need a gasket. But when you haven't got a perfect surface, you need a gasket there. What happens here, you've got a non-gasket, you've got an imperfect surface, therefore it doesn't seal. As soon as they started the engine, these would have been leaking, it would have been having a rough idle situation, it would have been blowing smoke on startup at some stage, would have been, yeah, been sort of idling rough, would have been probably a little bit noisy as well if we only knew a bit more about these injectors and where they came from. So they might have even put the old injectors back, who knows? So they're all the same. I don't think they're a set of Baileys because they're all manufactured in the same month. So it could have been new injectors, I really don't know. Seat washer at the bottom of the injector leaks. Compression blows up the injector. Not far up is this O-ring that stops the oil. There's an oil gallery here, right? Stops the oil going down here, but it's not working because what's happened from the heat blowing up the injector, it takes out that O-ring, then all this oil leaks down, then all the compression blows past this injector here, and it bakes all that oil that's come down from up this area, comes down, it's come down, it all gets baked and it gets pushed back up here. As you can see what's happened here, this is a really good example. Here it is, all this crusty stuff. It's all been pushed back up. It goes back into the oil gallery. Ends up draining back to the sump in here, but then the engine needs oil. It's trying to pick up oil here and it blocks the oil pickup. The engine gets starved of oil. And in this case, on this engine and this piston, what we're going to find is the lack of lubrication has caused the skirt of the piston, the edge of the piston, the crown, whatever you want to call it, whatever names, right? Copper, brass, whatever you want to call it. It's picked up the edge of the bloody piston and it's started busting the edges away. It's catching, it's pulling, it's dragging. There's resistance because there's no oil and it's basically just chipped it away, and all the pieces of alloy and the rings have ended up on top of the piston and just smashing around, and that's why you ended up with that result. And it's as simple as that. And it's all caused by the use of aftermarket parts that are absolutely not fit for purpose. Bada bing, we don't sell you any of this aftermarket crap. At Fourby4diesel, we give you the real information. The information's there designed to help you understand the problem and avoid this sort of thing. This can happen in a lot of diesel engines, not just this is a 1KD FTV. You really need to understand what's going on and avoid this situation. Now, in normal service, Toyota, these washers here are meant to be replaced every 40,000 when you remove the injectors to check the valve clearances, but I'm not saying that needs to be done. We know the 1KDs pretty well, as you might have noticed, and the valve clearances are generally okay, except for some of those odd weird ones every now and then. Ones like the ones that have got the catch cans and that, but anyway, that's another story. You can check that in the playlist. So these normally will last from factory, because even when they check valve clearances, they don't take the injectors out. They generally last about 150 to 200,000 Ks, which is another one of the reasons we recommend injector replacement as prevention at about the 170 K mark. It's a little bit lower perhaps with some engines, a little bit higher. It's, 7 years, 170, whatever comes first. Some injectors are going to be okay for 10 years regardless of kilometres. Anyway, I've waffled on enough. What else do you want to know? There'll be another video maybe when we get the piston out and some more rambling then, because we don't want to be rambling here. It's been good info so far. Bada bing, there you go. Hope you liked it. Hit the like button. If you just got educated, you better subscribe, turn the bell on, and check out those playlists. Click on our YouTube channel, Fourby4diesel, go to the playlists, check out what you need to learn about and have a look at those videos. See ya. It's my favourite one lately. See ya. All right, bada bing, bada boom, all right?